Welcome, the Lost City of Atlantis. Chapter 2. The Great Island Empire. Imagine standing on the edge of a world that should not exist. A world where mountains shimmer like polished metal, where rivers glow with strange mineral light, where cities float between land and sea like living crowns, and where the heartbeat of an entire empire echoes beneath your feet, steady, powerful, unstoppable. Now imagine this world was real, and imagine it vanished. This is Atlantis, not at the moment of its destruction, but at the height of its glory. Before the sea swallowed it, before time folded it into myth, before explorers chased shadows across oceans, Atlantis was alive. Not just alive, but dominant, radiant, and unbelievably advanced for a civilization so ancient that even Egypt seemed young beside it. To understand Atlantis, one must first understand its land. The island was unlike any other place on Earth. It stretched vast and wide, larger than Libya and Asia combined, a continent shaped by gods and refined by human hands. The outer lands were blessed with thick forests, fertile plains, and rivers that ran as clear as polished glass. The inner circle, however, was a masterpiece of impossible design. 3 rings of land and 2 rings of sea, carved not by nature, but by knowledge centuries ahead of its time. From above, the capital city looked like a great eye staring into the heavens, a symbol of power, order, and divine geometry. At the center of this eye stood the palace of Atlas, first king of Atlantis, whose name still whispers through the ocean's darkest currents. His palace rose high on a hill, surrounded by walls plated with precious metals that shimmered beneath the sun. Red stones glowed like blood beneath golden trim, silver lined the rooftops, and at the very heart of it all stood a tall column where laws were inscribed in shining orichalcum, the mysterious metal that the ancient world valued second only to gold. But the people of Atlantis were the true marvel. Tall, strong, and disciplined, they lived with a sense of purpose that came not from fear, but from legacy. They believed themselves to be descended from Poseidon himself, a lineage that filled them with pride, responsibility, and sometimes dangerous ambition. Their cities were alive with sound. Marketplaces overflowed with spices, metals, fish, and fabrics from across the ancient world. Towering ships glided in and out of harbors, shaped with mathematical perfection. Scholars in long robes debated the workings of stars and tides. Engineers devised mechanisms so advanced that later civilizations would mistake them for magic. Farmers harvested crops in fields irrigated by channels that ran like veins through the land. Atlantean culture valued harmony between body, mind, and duty. Children trained in athletics from early childhood, not for war, but for discipline. Adults participated in public debates, rituals, and communal gatherings. Music filled the evenings. Drums, flutes, and deep bronze horns echoed across the city as the sun dipped below the horizon. At night, lanterns lined the canals, their reflections shivering across the water as though the sea itself had caught fire. And yet, this beauty was not without purpose. Atlantis was not merely a paradise, it was a strategic powerhouse. The Atlanteans understood trade, economics, and geography with uncanny precision. Their empire stretched across islands and coastal lands far beyond their shores. Their navy, with thousands of sleek, fast vessels, controlled the ancient seas like an iron hand wrapped in silk. Their armies marched in formations so disciplined that later Greek militaries would study them in awe. But here lies the secret no one expected. Atlantis was a civilization obsessed with balance. They believed that prosperity without restraint was corruption. Strength without wisdom was destruction. Power without humility was collapse. And so every generation swore an oath that bound them to the laws of Atlas, carved in the shining column at the center of the palace. Honor the land, honor the sea, honor the gods, honor one another, honor the balance. For centuries, this oath protected them. It kept their empire strong, stable, and admired by nations across the world. Many believed Atlantis had achieved what others could only dream of, a perfect society strengthened by discipline and guided by virtue. But deep beneath the surface, quiet shifts had already begun. With each passing generation, the Atlanteans grew stronger, richer, and more confident. Their conquests multiplied, their knowledge expanded, their influence spread like sunlight across the ancient seas. And slowly, subtly, something changed. Where wisdom once guided them, ambition began to whisper. Where humility once grounded them, pride began to rise. Where balance once held steady, power began to tilt. But that story belongs to another chapter. For now, Atlantis still shone at its brightest, a jewel set in the heart of the ocean, dazzling and impossible, a civilization so far ahead of its time that even today we can barely imagine its brilliance. And somewhere on that vast island, beneath the glow of orichalcum walls and the hum of ancient life, the people carried on unaware that the world would one day speak their name in whispers and wonder how such greatness could disappear.